Well, welcome back. So I sent the word out on Twitter, and I asked some of my YouTube buddies, hey, what's like an 8-bit, 16-bit style of game that you finish but never want to beat again? And the responses were pretty nice, actually. So this video is going to be 8-bit or 16-bit games that we finished that we never want to beat again, or worse yet, we'll never play again. So starting this list off, it's the Old Ass Retro Gamer.
Hey everybody, Chris the Old Ass Retro Gamer here. And what's a game that I finished that I will never play again? Well, that was pretty easy to pick. Karnov for the NES. I did own this back in the late 80s and early 90s. This game would constantly frustrate me. It was extremely hard. The controls were clunky. Some of the mechanics of the game just didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And it kind of wasn't all that fun to play, at least to me. But when I got back into collecting in 2013, nostalgia made me pick this up again, and I said, I've never beaten that Karnov. Let's do that. So for about 4 straight days, I toiled away playing this game, determined to beat it, and when I finally did it, all I got was a congratulations, the end screen. If there's one thing about video games that completely ticks me off, it's when I do not get a decent reward for all of the effort I had put into playing through it. The NES was kind of notorious for that, and I got spoiled because I got the NES pretty late in its lifespan, probably in 1989, 1990. I'd watched friends play through Ninja Gaiden and all these other games that had these great cinematics in it, and to go back and play through all the older games for the NES, where you're actually lucky if you got anything other than a congratulations screen, kind of came as a slap to the face, especially when me completing this game was like 30 years in the making. So yes, Karnov, crappy ending, just ruins the entire experience. Not that the game's all that great to begin with, at least in my opinion. So yeah, there you go.
Next, the clapping queen herself, JLove81.
Hey, it's your girl JLove81. I am here today to talk about a game that I have beaten that I will never play again. That game for me is Mario is Missing on the Super Nintendo. This game, I can't emphasize enough how much of a disappointment it was when I'm thinking, oh wow, I love Super Mario World, can't wait, it's another Mario game. Never thought to research it. No, why would I do that? Mom, take me to Toys R Us. I really want this game. I really want this game. We go and get it. I pop it in. I'm gonna slap the cartridge. I'm gonna slap the cartridge. What a disappointment. I can't believe how boring this game is. Mario is Missing is an educational game that was released for NES, SNES, and home computer system. This is the first time Luigi is the main character. Bowser floods the Earth using hair dryers to melt Antarctica and sends his Koopa Troopas to steal various important landmarks all over the world. Mario is then captured by Bowser. Luigi must save Mario and return the stolen artifacts. In each level, Luigi has to stomp on the Koopa Troopas to retrieve the artifacts and return them to their proper places. He then must answer trivia questions correctly in order to proceed in the game. Talking to the town people can help retrieve information for these questions. Luigi must return all the artifacts in the level, and he can also use the globulator to call Yoshi to his aid to assist him, which makes him move faster. At the end of the level, there is an exit pipe which is occupied by a large pokey. The only way to proceed down the pipe is with Yoshi. Once Luigi has secured all the cities in that floor of the castle, he battles a boss which is one of Bowser's kids. The soundtrack in this game is legit, but the boring gameplay, reading the info, and participating in these quizzes made me want to punch myself in the face repeatedly. So, those were the reasons why I will never play this again. You're probably wondering why I even have it. Nostalgia. It's something that my mom did get me. You know, my parents got me, and I'm grateful for it. So it's always going to be a part of my collection. Doesn't mean I'm going to play it again. Thanks, guys, for joining me.
Probably one of the all-time greats. I'm talking about Brazel, the gamer.
So I was asked, which game have I finished that I don't ever want to try to finish again? And it took me just a little bit to figure this out, but yeah, definitely Mario Brothers 2. And I don't mean Super Mario Brothers 2, the one we got. I'm talking about the Lost Levels. Super Mario Brothers, the Lost Levels. The reason I say this is because it is exceptionally hard. It's also... it's an expansion pack, man. It is a Mario Brothers 1 expansion pack, or DLC. It's just... it's okay. I mean, it's fun for what it is, but, you know, it gets really hard in the later levels, and there's a lot of just weirdness about it that I really don't care for. Luigi handles like crap, and you know, you can play as Mario and Luigi, and they both play differently, and Luigi handles like crap. And honestly, it's just, I don't know, it's just not something I ever really want to complete again. Now, Super Mario Bros. 2, the version that the North Americans got, I'll play that over and over again, constantly, until the day I die. But the Lost Levels, no thanks.
Here's a guy that can probably beat any game. I mean, any freaking game. And you know what? He could probably no-death run it. I'm talking about the no-death master, Megadan.
Hey guys, this is Megadan29, and this is the game that I have finished, but I never want to go back to. Castlevania Adventure. Well, do you hate me yet? Yes, a Castlevania game that I don't really enjoy. As I got older and started to really play all the Castlevania games, I have become a huge fan. In fact, it is easily one of my favorite franchises on the NES. So I decided, sure, I'll play the Game Boy version. Even better, I'll play it on my TV with the Super Game Boy. Little did I know what I was about to get myself into. One of the things I have loved about all the Castlevanias I've played so far is how even with the unique way that Castlevania controls, you can still pull off some crazy moves at times to get yourself out of trouble. Not in this game. The first problem is the way you walk. So slow. It's like Chris is walking in quicksand. This makes it difficult to make jumps that in other Castlevanias, they're not so difficult. Also, it makes it nearly impossible to get out of the way of hazards. Another thing that I hate in general in video games is the trial and error effect. This game is the first Castlevania I've played where you have to know what is coming or you're just dead. Stupid level 3. Even with the limitations of it being on the Game Boy, I mean, Operation C was fine, so what happened? This was just a poor effort by Konami in my opinion. As much as I love Castlevania, I did not love this game. As a matter of fact, I would be okay to never play through it again. I never thought I would say that about any Castlevania game. It makes me very scared to even give Belmont's Revenge a try. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my part of the video. Bye.
This next man I'm going to talk about, if I had him as a math teacher back when I was a kid, I probably would have done a lot better in that class. I'm talking about the one and the only Captain Algebra.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Max Impact for asking me to be a part of this collaboration. So the game from the 18 or 16-bit era that I've beaten before and will never go back to was a very tough topic for me. Most of those games from that era are games I've had from my childhood that I absolutely love, so I go back to play them all the time. But after thinking a while, I finally figured it out. And that game comes on the Super Nintendo, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
Some of you may be surprised to see Yoshi's Island on this list. There are many reasons this is a good game. First, the music is great. It sets the tone for the game and really adds to the gameplay experience. Second, the game is just beautiful. Look at these levels and the intricate hand-drawn scenes. That, along with the music, makes a very good gaming experience. But, unfortunately, the game is just too long. I'm used to getting through Mario games pretty quickly. but this one seemed to just drag on forever, and it only has 6 worlds. Super Mario World has 2 extra worlds, plus the Star Road, and it still goes by faster than Yoshi's Island. The other reason I won't go back to Yoshi's Island is this. That gets so annoying by the end of the game. Even if you're good, you'll get hit at some point and have to endure that terrible noise. Now, I enjoyed playing this game, but not enough to ever go back to it again.
So there you go. Like I said, it's a very good game, but it's just got some flaws that just make me not want to go back to it again. So again, thank you, Will, for having me be a part of this collaboration. Until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.
If you've got a rumble in your stomach, chances are you're hungry for her content. I'm talking about Hungry Goriya.
Illusion of Gaia is one of those games that I was really excited to buy while I was out collecting RPGs for the Super Nintendo. I love RPGs of all kinds, and a game as highly regarded as Illusion of Gaia seemed like a no-brainer to add to my collection. So many people I talked to hyped it up to be this wonderful adventure that was jam-packed with good action and insisted that it was a beautiful extension of Soul Blazer, but with a more powerful story. I beg to differ. I should probably also mention that I experienced Illusion of Gaia for the first time in adulthood, so I went in without absolutely any nostalgia and sky-high expectations that eventually crashed and burned. The parts of Gaia that irked me the most were its characters and its story. If the game had no storytelling and was judged solely on whether or not it was a good action game, it would be a very good game, great in fact. The fighting is solid and one-on-one combat controls feel very polished and responsive. Combat was probably one of my favorite parts of the game, but good lord, were the characters and the story ever abysmal. No one single character, apart from the main protagonist, is even remotely likable. Like, not even a little bit. Dialogue between characters mostly feels inconsequential, and doesn't do very much other than really waste your time before shuffling you off to new areas. The translation itself is also really disjointed, making it really hard to follow what's even going on in terms of the story itself, and provides very little character development. Without getting too far into spoiler territory, one of the really frustrating things about this game is that the story actually starts off really well, but then it just doesn't go anywhere. You eventually get to one very anticlimactic moment very late in the game that by no means resolves anything that the game built up from, and unfortunately by the end the narrative has fallen completely away entirely. When the credits rolled, I had so many questions about gaping plot holes and what actually happened in the game's final stretch. A lot of this stuff probably went over many 90s kids' heads, but it's really hard to ignore at this stage in my personal life. Another downfall is that Illusion of Gaia is almost completely linear. While this isn't a bad thing in most games, with really annoying characters, a story that doesn't go anywhere, there's really no reason to suffer through this game more than once. If there was an opportunity to form different parties or try different strategies, it might be worth a second playthrough, but that isn't an option here since the game is heavily prescribed. For me, a good RPG has a compelling story with likable and hell, maybe even relatable characters. Illusion of Gaia had none of these things, and I personally have no desire to ever play it again. A more suitable name for this game would probably be Illusion of Gaiaria.
If painting is your game, then this guy's got you covered in spades. Who am I talking about? The man, the myth, the legend, the Renaissance.
Hi folks, Renaissance here, and when I heard the idea behind Max Impact's collaboration video, I had to chuckle, because when I finally sat down and beat the game that I'm about to talk about, I verbatim said to myself as I yanked it out of my Nintendo, I will never play this game again. And that game is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I hate this f***ing game. Let's talk about why. I had this game as a kid and had convinced myself that I liked it, but as a more discerning adult, I can flatly state that it is a sloppy, lazy, terrible game comprised of bullshit moment after bullshit moment. Let's start with how you attack. Right from the get-go, this game puts you in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, where Donatello is the only useful guy to use offensively because he can one-hit kill most enemies, whereas the other three will inevitably take damage because they don't have time to get in the 2 or more necessary hits in before getting hit themselves. However, Don's attack is so slow that you almost have to memorize enemy placements to be able to attack in time to avoid damage. If he's gonna be this close to the edge of the screen while advancing, there should be more time to react. It's cheap damage and it happens all the time. And speaking of taking damage, there's almost no recovery time between hits. So if you get too close to anything, you're not getting out of it without taking at least 2 hits, if not more. Cheap. How about how this game loves wasting your time and killing any shred of momentum it offers? Painfully slow, unskippable cutscenes. Look how slow this dialogue is. Uncontrollable animations like this part on the rooftops. Why does this have to happen 3 times in a row? It's the same boring thing over and over. And why is this third one longer? Is that supposed to seem more dangerous? Look how you can't even see the poles because it's stretched so far apart. Lazy. And the most annoying way that this game tests your patience, these stupid moments where the action ceases to face a mini-boss. Ooh, scary boss music. Who do I have to face? Oh, just another of the same bland, uninteresting characters I've already been killing in this boring level I'm slogging through. This happens way too many times, and worse, the guy won't even appear until you clear the entire room of all the other boring enemies. And speaking of enemies, would it have killed developers to come up with more than 2 sets of spawns for some more variety in the 85% of the game that they appear in? Most people complain that they don't belong in the Tmnt universe. Honestly, I don't care about that. What does bother me is that it's either Robot Guy or Flame Guy for so much of the game. Flame Guy or Robot Guy. Robot Guy. Flame Guy. Flame Guy. Robot Guy. Robot Guy. It's repetitive and boring. How about having no control of picking up sub-weapons that you don't want? How about those sub-weapons being automatically selected when you do pick them up? Why? I didn't even want to switch this turtle sub-weapon, let alone attack with them as soon as I picked it up. How about getting blindsided over and over as you enter a room or climb up a ladder and have no way of avoiding damage? Cheap. Cheap. Boring. Lazy. Boring. After finally killing Shredder, I didn't even feel a sense of accomplishment or happiness, as I do with most games. It more felt like finally removing that string of corn out from between your teeth that you've been tongue wrestling all day. Thanks for inviting me to vent, Max Impact.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn to chime in. What 8 or 16-bit game that I finished that I'll never finish again? And for me, I started this off with a thumbnail of Sean Connery pointing his gun at off screen, and it said "Never Again," but on his face instead of Sean Connery it was the box art of Star Tropics. And it's funny because once I started playing Star Tropics to gather gameplay footage, I actually wanted to finish the game again, and I probably will. At one point in my life, I will. But also, I was playing this other game on the SNES, and this is actually my pick, and that's Super R-Type. Now, don't get me wrong, Super R-Type is a fantastic game, and I think for some of us here that actually contributed, we like these games, but just for some reason they kind of irk us, and once we finish them, we just don't want to go through that again. Super R-Type is the perfect example for me, at least. It's a shoot 'em up, but I love shoot 'em ups now that I can appreciate them as an adult. But the checkpoint system, the lack of a checkpoint system, is what really kills it for me. And you can say, well, you've got to get really good. It's all about memorizing patterns, and it's not like a one and done. Like you enter, let's say, for example, the second level your first time, you're probably not going to beat that level. You're probably going to die and you're going to have to restart. Well, I mean, this is okay, pattern memorization, that's fun and everything, but in shooters, man, oh man, is it brutal. When you die, you get sent all the way back to the beginning of the stage. There's no checkpoints at all to save you. And on one side, I can understand why there's no checkpoint system, because then you can actually, get a chance to recover power-ups to power yourself back up. But then again, when you're replaying, let's say, stage 3 over and over again, the fish level as I call it, it just saps your energy. It just takes your will away from you, if you will. And I say level 3 because Retromat, he watched me play this game. He was in the background doing whatever, reading or something like that. And he was watching me, and he just kept hearing the same music over and over again for the span of like an hour and a half or something like that. And that was me trying to get through the fish stage. Just right at the beginning, when you see this school of fish coming at you, and they're kamikaze fish. When you shoot them, they actually burst into flames, and they either fly towards you or away from you, and there's a lot of them, and it sucks. And that's just level 3. I mean, even stage 1, the satellite boss, that guy is not a lot of fun. And you know what, just thinking about it, the bosses aren't necessarily the biggest obstacle. It's actually the level. The level is actually the boss itself, getting through it. The bosses you can one-shot if you supercharge your 2nd level beam, and you kind of hit the shot just at the right spot in this weak point. You can annihilate it in one shot. So the bosses aren't too terribly tough. It's the level themselves. So yeah, when I beat this game, and mind you, I beat this game on easy mode. That's it. I couldn't have imagined playing it on hard, or even like, I think there's a pro mode that you can unlock once you beat hard mode for those masochists out there. It was frustrating, and this is a game that I finished that I'd never want to beat again. I'll play it again, but I will never beat it again. So guys, there you have it. There was our picks. The games that we've played, we finished, we'll never beat or play again. And I just want to thank all you guys and gals, J-Love, the Old Ass Retro Gamer, Mega Dan, Captain Algebra, Hungry Goriya, Brazel the Gamer, the Renaissance. Thank you so very much. I think that's everybody. Thank you so very much. This is the first time I've ever done this collaboration. I'm usually like a lone wolf and I kind of do my own thing on YouTube, but it's kind of dawned on me that you can't do this alone. You need a community, and I'm part of this new retro gaming community, and it's a wonderful place where we can just share ideas, bounce ideas off of one another. We can do collaborations like this. We can do shout outs. It's a very positive, uplifting community, and I plan on doing more of these videos, so I hope you'll help me out and you'll be kind enough to donate some of your time to me. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, these are some awesome channels that, for whatever reason, maybe you haven't found them, you really need to subscribe to. You have to check them out. So I hope, once again, that in the future, when I do these collaborations, that you'll be kind enough to help me out. I would really, really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you one and all for joining us. For those about to retro,
We salute you!
We fucking salute you.
hey, that's my line.
We salute you.
We salute you.
We salute you.
I can say my, can I say my catchphrase now? Is that okay?
We salute you.
We salute you. Take care. Thanks, guys. Will, I had a dream about the monkey again. Where did everybody go? I didn't miss the collab, did I? I mean, I was going to talk about Gremlins 2, the new batch. It's such a great game, but I don't think I'll ever beat it again. It's just like Demon Sword. Whatever one's gone, I mean, what does it bother? I shouldn't even bother talking about it. I mean, Abadox. I loved this game as a kid, but I mean, I don't think I'll ever beat it again. That monkey is going to pay.